Hello and welcome to another episode of the Running in Circles podcast. It's another Sunday. That means it's a new episode time. So, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about what it is like to move to a new country. To give context, I recently took a big step in my life and moved to the United States to pursue master's education. And that, in many ways, has meant going through a lot of things and having new experiences. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this episode. And in joining me in today's episode are three people who I've come to know in this part of the world, three people who I have great conversations with. So please welcome Harshitha.
Hi everyone, I'm Harshitha. I am Pallav's neighbor and I study at ASU.
Yes, we also have my roommate, Kaustubh.
Hey everyone, I'm currently doing my master's at ASU as well.
Yes, and last but not the least, we also have Sannidhi.
Yeah, I am Sannidhi and I'm Pallav's neighbor and Harshita's roommate. And obviously, I'm also doing my master's at ASU.
Yes, obviously. Yes, hello everyone. So
Hello.
moving into the US, I'm sure was a big step for all of you guys as well.
All of us. Mm.
Yeah. So like I wanted to know, okay, like what was your like what were your expectations? What was it like to move to a new country? Starting with you, Harshita.
Yeah, so I made this decision in a very short period of time. So I didn't really have much time to let it sink in that I'm moving to a new country and what my expectations would be from there. All I knew was that it was going to be difficult. I'd heard stories from other people as to what their struggles were, but until I got here and I lived here for some time, that it took all that time for it to sink in that these are the struggles, but I'm not in this alone. Even though it might seem like I'm the only one going through all these new changes, there are tons of people with me who are going through the same thing. So
Hmm.
it was a whole different experience than I had anticipated, but still great in its own sense. Like the experience that I anticipated versus the
Yeah.
experience I got, um,
Mhm.
still both, like uh, made me think of if the decision was worthy, and I think the answer will always be yes to that.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. Uh, so I mean,
Like, I,
yeah.
yeah, so I think for me, it was kind of contrary. Like, I was overthinking this a lot, like, before coming here. I was like,
Hmm.
can I do this? Can I live on my own? Can I do all of this for myself? Like, I took a lot of time to just like accept it and like make a decision, and I was just pushing it for a long time, but then after coming here I just know now that no, I can do this. Like, I think that's what I've realized here. But yeah,
Yeah.
you expect, I came in with expectations, and like, not expectations, I mean, I came in thinking, yeah, it is not going to be easy, it is going to be difficult, you'll have to do a lot of things and for on your own and all of that. But it's,
Hmm.
yeah, way harder than you anticipate. But I think
Hmm.
you like, we've grown to learn to do a lot of things on our
Hmm.
own,
Hmm.
so kind of now like uh easier than it was, but it's still not easy.
Oh, it's absolutely not easy.
Yeah.
So, like to talk about what I felt. Uh, yeah, I think like doing masters was something that I knew I was gonna do someday. I
Mhm.
was looking at masters as this thing like this next step of evolution for me, maybe. Like again, having lived by myself before in undergrad studies, I mean I sort of like first
Mhm.
year, second year was pretty hard in terms of adapting, and I thought, and like third year was pretty easy, and I thought, okay, now the next step of
You mean
like
in your
growth.
undergrad? Third year in your undergrad, you're saying?
Yeah, third year in undergrad.
Okay.
So once that growth happened, it was kind of stagnant for like 2 years, and then I thought, okay, the next step for growth is like definitely masters, and I knew that it'll be difficult. like everything, like being responsible for yourself, cooking for yourself, handling money and stuff like that. So I knew it was going to be tough, but I've always felt that because I was like preparing for it. I knew that it is. I'm ready for it, and I know it'll be tough,
Mhm.
but we're gonna face it. And then once I moved here, I thought, wow, this is just the most natural thing to do. Like I know it was tough for sure, like the settling in part, um, the the finance part. Like I was so the finance part was such a big thing in my head. Not joking. That part was tough. But then like after a month or so, I'm like, huh, chalo, this is the best thing that could happen. But then other things happen, and then things get tough. Then I like, okay, no, this is actually as tough as you imagined, and not like you need to work extra hard daily to make your day special. So that realization of course happens here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
yeah, Kaustubh, you were saying that
yeah,
it felt the most
so
natural thing to you, right? So like I really want to know what you felt like.
so for me, I think doing masters was one of my dreams. So all of this started, I think, back in 2017 for me. So
Mm,
I graduated from undergrad in 2018, but me and my some of my friends in undergrad, we used to talk about like going for masters, coming over
mm,
here,
mm,
thinking it's all fun and all amazing life it's going to be.
mm.
So, but
Sure,
even
sure.
even even before getting into masters, like I was applying for universities in 2019, like
Yeah.
after taking a year break from undergrad after that. And like when I was applying, like as soon as I had finished applications, all of that, and COVID happened. So
Yeah.
that itself was a big disappointment for me. Like how
As in you wanted to come
how
earlier, but you
yeah, I
couldn't.
wanted to come earlier,
Mm,
uh, but it didn't happen. It didn't go
mm,
as expected, right? So
mm,
that was, I think, that was the biggest disappointment for me back then. So it was hard for me trying to figure out like, okay, in I don't know when this is going to end, when I'm going to go for my master's. So how would my life proceed ahead? So I wanted to do my master's. That I wanted to do, like, so
mm.
Okay, so you wanted to
uh,
do it right after undergrad, is it?
not right
No.
after undergrad. I wanted to get a year or two of experience.
And
So
then.
Okay.
I would have come in 2020 fall. That was the plan,
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
but that didn't happen. So like I was so like I was depressed, kind of. Why didn't I get into any universities? And then COVID
mm,
happened.
mm,
But yeah, you start to realize the importance of like, okay, what else I can do now? Masters might not be an option right now. So I continued with my work. But I think this 4 years that I took off, like I didn't think about masters, but I was working.
mm,
I think that was the biggest advantage for me. So I knew how difficult, I got to understand how difficult it is to come into a new country.
mm,
And I think I was mentally prepared for that.
mm,
Uh, I started looking into finances back when I was while I was
mm.
working itself.
Yeah.
And then how do I cook? So cooking was one of my passions. So I
Yeah.
enjoyed cooking. So I wanted to
Okay.
be myself and then start cooking. I wanted to have my own home where I could organize things the way I wanted. So
Yeah.
all of these were something like a dream for me.
Uh,
And coming here, all of those dreams, meeting those dreams and achieving them, I think
yeah.
that was the reason why I felt it was kind of easier to move to a new country.
Yeah.
So I've seen people like crying at airports while leaving from their home country and all of that. I didn't really feel any such emotions at all. Yeah, it was sad to leave my parents,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it was so exciting that
Mm,
coming to a new country, trying to live everything by yourself, it is going to be really hard, but you're going to enjoy it. So I knew that part. So I think that was the reason why I felt it like it was pretty
mm.
easy to move into a new country.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I remember 2 months after moving in with you, it was like here I was struggling with cooking, here I was struggling with finances, and then you were just so sorted in terms of finances and as well as cooking. I'm like, I know it's gonna be take me at least 2 months to get there. So yeah, that was crazy.
No, but I have a question. Like,
Yes.
did you did any of y'all cry at the airport
Not
No,
before
really.
leaving?
This
No?
was no. What about you guys?
Uh, I did cry on the way to the airport while I was like driving to the airport with my mom. But then I
Okay.
think later for me it was just like, okay, I need to do this, this, this. Like it's just like continuous steps that you need to do, right?
Huh.
So my head
Yeah.
was occupied, so I was kind
Hmm.
of like there. But it
Mm.
was difficult looking at my mom. So I was
Yeah.
just like,
I can
go
imagine.
away.
Hmm.
Like I'm going now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my parents were crying a lot, and plus I used to live with my grandparents also, right? So like they were feeling more sad, and they were crying for like at least 2 weeks after I left also. But those things happened, but then I was prepared for it, and this was my goal, right? So like not much of crying.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I
once
only
you
cried. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think once you move into the country, you have your own stuff to deal with, and I think all of that takes the back seat. Emotion kind of takes the back seat
Mm.
as soon as you arrive in, I think, and then you get used to that whole cycle, is what I feel. But back home, parents, grandparents, everyone are still feeling that
Yeah.
missing you. You're not there in their presence all the time, so I
Yeah.
think
For
that
me, I
kind of
don't think
affects them.
emotions are sidelined right now. Like for me, it's just going side by side. Like, yeah, I mean, all of these things are like more important
Huh.
right now, but emotions are still there, dude. Like I still miss home. I still like talk to my parents every day because I want
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
talk to them, not because they make me talk to them,
Correct.
but I
Oh
also
yeah.
want to talk to them. So I make
Hmm.
it a point at least like every
Yeah.
day I do call them at least once.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
for sure. That's for
Yeah,
For
sure.
like
sure.
more than once sometimes, but
Yeah.
yeah, at
I
least
mean,
once.
I've met a few people who are like, I mean, they talk to parents, but then their parents also realize that they are busy, and you also are busy yourself. So
Yeah.
like, they talk once, like twice a week or something. But
Mm.
I mean, for me, it's been like, Arey, they
Naturally
are up.
comes.
Chalo, let's talk. How I
Yeah,
really want to know
I
how
mean,
your day
I don't
was.
think
I
it's
want to,
difficult to like
yeah,
keep 5 minutes a day to
yeah,
talk to them.
exactly. Five,
Yeah,
five, 5, 10 minutes a day isn't like really tough to. I mean, for sure, when during exam time and stuff like that,
Yeah,
for sure it's tough.
yeah,
Uh,
because of the time zones and
Time
everything. But
zone
otherwise,
exactly.
yeah,
But
five
otherwise,
minutes.
huh?
Yeah,
It's not been tough way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So recently I've
Yeah.
started like texting my parents if I want to tell them something and like they're not up, or I know that they're busy.
Hmm.
So they've been more active with like replying to my texts also, because they also know the stress of the
yeah,
studies here and academics. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like texting also is like a mode of
Hmm.
communication you can try to keep up with.
Yeah. So what were some of your biggest struggles after moving? Like, who wants to go first?
Yeah, I think I'll go.
Yeah.
Apart from the struggles you expect, right? Like living by
Hmm.
yourself,
Hmm.
cooking, trying to manage your academics, going to
Hmm.
classes, getting your coursework done. Um, all of that seemed like a pretty standard set of struggles.
Hmm. Hmm.
But for me personally, the living situation has been a bit more of a struggle than
Hmm.
yeah,
I'd expected. Um, but this also ended up teaching me that you have to look into a lot more things before you make a
mm,
decision.
Hmm.
Like I'll give you an example. For the house I chose to live in, I could have probably put in a lot more time into researching
Hmm.
where I could live. I think it
yeah,
also came from the fact that we didn't really know how much a space would mean to you that you can call it
Yeah.
home, like where you
Hmm.
would feel peaceful, because
yeah,
we've always gotten that at home. And like, even if you're in your home country, you can still make it feel like home a lot easier than you can here.
yeah,
Hmm.
And like with the house, trying to get the house set up and for it to feel like home and to deal with all the issues that the house comes with
yeah,
was
yeah,
something I was not expecting.
Hmm.
Like for me back home, if something's not working, just like tell your parents or like call someone, they'll come and fix it for you. But
Sometimes you don't
here,
even have to say, like,
yeah,
it's done. You wake up in the morning, it's done. It's fixed.
exactly. And here you have to take the initiative to like call people, get it fixed,
Follow up.
Yeah.
follow up and see what the issue is. Is it a plumbing
Mm.
issue? Is it the AC unit that's not working? Or
Mm.
what is it that is going wrong in the house to fix it
Mm.
before you can even make it a space where you feel calm and at home?
Mm.
There was a lot of other issues that needed attention. So I felt like that took up a lot of
Time.
my time as well as
Peace of mind.
yeah, peace of mind for
Mm.
sure. Because when you move here, you're already struggling with
Other things.
all the other things. So
Mm.
yeah, like staying away from home, doing all things by yourself, and like trying to figure out what is it that you've come here for. And these small trivial things tend to pile up and just sometimes tip you over. So like that was the struggle I found, probably, if like
W- One
how
thing, one thing that I realized on that point, like with respect to living, is it is like it is not it is important to talk to people, like just ask people who are already here, ask your friends if they know someone over here or something like
Um,
that, right? So it
yeah,
takes
I
it
didn't look
wouldn't.
into it enough, I feel.
Yeah, so even for us also, even I felt like even we didn't really do a lot of research into
Yeah.
trying to figure out which apartment that we should go
Correct.
to.
Yeah.
So
We
for
should have
us,
done
we
that a
had,
little.
yeah, we had like what, 7 or 8 apartments listed down by price, and then okay, we thought no, like, yeah, what could go wrong? Probably something
Correct.
wouldn't, like a door, like some knob wouldn't work on a tap or something like that. That would be a very minor thing that could be
Yeah.
fixed. But we don't really know what kind of problems could arise. And
Mm.
I think what could be the solution for that would be just speaking out to people, right? So
Yeah.
I think none of us did that. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I,
No,
I
I didn't do
remember.
that for
like,
sure.
please
I
choose
yeah.
the right apartment. Like, please, please choose the right apartment.
Correct. Our
I can't
literal.
stress that enough.
Yeah. Our literal requirement was only closer to university, and that's how
Yeah,
both of us
mm,
yeah,
settled
yeah,
to this
mm,
yeah.
apartment. But then
Like, me
going
and
back.
Harshita,
Huh,
basically had issues every single day for like the
first
past few
month.
months that we were
Huh.
here.
yeah,
I don't think we
yeah,
have slept one night in peace in this house. Like
yeah,
every
It's
single day,
crazy.
there has been something. So if you want peace of mind, you need to choose the right apartment.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think we've slept on like friends' couch because that felt more peaceful.
Peaceful than our bed.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
can you?
It's crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
So, yeah. So, Kosa, what was your biggest struggle?
So I think for me, the biggest struggle was on the academics front.
Hmm.
So after having not studied, I didn't study anything on
For
an
3, 4.
academic perspective,
Ha.
like studying for exams, doing projects. Projects was
Hmm.
something like at
Hmm.
work also I was doing, but sitting and studying like a theory part of something, that I had not done in a long time. So getting
Hmm.
back to academics after 4 years of work, that I
Hmm.
found to be hard. So
Hmm.
along with that, there are a lot of changes, like changes with respect to how gradings happen over here compared to in
Yeah.
India.
Yeah.
Uh, it's different, and let's say you make one mistake, you lose a lot of marks.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if you make 3 or 4 mistakes, you're already in like
In
B
a
grade
lesser
or
grade.
C grade.
Yeah.
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 Correct.
So, but back in India, 35 was the passing. You pass, you get 35, you pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
here,
yeah.
passing itself is 70%. So you need to get that 70%, which is not as easy as it seems. So
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
thought, okay, I would be able to ace
Hmm.
all of these classes. I know
Hmm.
what they're talking about, but
Hmm.
it is not as easy as you think it is.
Yeah.
It is so difficult. Like, just to give an example, I had this one project, and I
Hmm.
knew I was pretty good at coding, but the problem was there were so many untested test cases that I had
Hmm.
to clear out, which I
Yeah.
couldn't do.
Hmm.
Though I had experience from work, the
Hmm.
domain of application varies. So, and you need to be sure like how do you work through that, right? So I think that was one of the major challenge that I was
Mm-hmm.
facing.
Mm-hmm.
And along with all of this, I thought like, okay, I'm ready to live my dream, all of that,
Yeah.
cooking here, all of that. But though it was fun, it is not easy as it is, as you think it
Mm.
would be,
Absolutely.
because
Yeah.
you have like what 8 hours of sleep. You need 8 hours of sleep, and after that, you need some time to cook food. When you start cooking after coming here, you need at least 2 hours to get used to cooking,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
after that, you do a lot of other things. You need to look into your home, like household issues, and after that, you need to think about studying.
Mm.
And there are going to be so many projects, so many assignments coming
Yeah,
in.
that's a lot,
How
man.
to how to manage itself is going to become a biggest headache. So
Yeah.
you face so much difficulties that you somehow sometimes just break down. So I
Huh.
have broken
Yeah.
down multiple times. Okay,
Mm.
like what is happening? This was not
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
something that I had planned.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think these were like some of the difficulties that I've been, and I think it's going to continue till the end of masters for
For
sure.
sure. Yeah.
But I think I have kind of understood how to
Mm-hmm.
navigate this.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah.
think it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one quick question, because Kaustubh mentioned 8 hours of sleep. Are you all getting 8 hours of sleep? Like,
Not really.
I want to know.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
God.
I think I am used to that cycle. So
Mm-hmm.
I sleep whatever time I sleep. Like let's say I sleep at 11, I wake up at 7. If I sleep at
Mm-hmm.
12, I wake up at 8. My
Yeah.
body won't allow me to wake up. I don't know why, but I think that's a boon for me.
Yeah, and plus you also sleep. I mean, you take a nap in the afternoon also. So I guess if you sleep less, you overcome that. So
Yeah.
like I'm not usually I don't get 8 hours sleep. 7 hours is my jam, and not an afternoon nap guy. So it's been, and plus most of the time somehow I have 9 a.m. classes. Okay, so it's always like, yeah, sleep. I mean, if you have to force yourself to sleep at 11, 12 sometimes, and then you still have to wake up at 6. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not 8 hours of sleep.
So, and
And
also I think this is one more thing, right? Like
mm,
you have, so the class schedule over here is totally
mm,
different from India. So in India, you used to have like
mm,
fixed amount of time you had going to have this class, and then
mm,
from this time to this time you're going to have this class. It's not like
mhm,
that here. You need to pick the classes, and
mhm.
on top of that, if you have, let's say, a class in the morning and a class in the afternoon, you're going to cook lunch and then go. How do you carry that? All of that becomes a
Oh,
big struggle again.
absolutely. Yeah, it feels like I'm camping sometimes. Okay, that morning,
Yeah,
wake up 6:30, cook breakfast, cook lunch, pack lunch, pack
yeah,
gym clothes, go to classes, go
Snacks.
to gym, and then
Yeah.
come back. So it's like whole camping only now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen like on campus people dragging some kind of trolley with all of the stuff that they want to use throughout the day,
Yeah,
and then just taking it around the campus.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a huge struggle.
Mhm.
I
So,
think sometimes
mhm.
me and Sannidhi have made decisions based on whether we can,
We have enough food or not.
yeah, we have enough food to like
Uh,
stay out the whole day, or should we like stay at home and get our stuff done?
Yeah.
uh,
Should we stay in the library or should we just stay at home and do it? Because we are hungry. Like we get hungry. That's the
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so
The
speaking on
call for
academic
decision
thing,
making.
I remember like you told about the in basically the US structure being a whole different world, right? So I
Yeah.
anticipated that, but coming from a zero attendance background and a relative grading background, this was like a totally different world. Like some in some
Hmm.
subjects, I do have attendance, but I mean grading based on attendance, and as well as uh like let's say like in undergrad, let's say you get like let's say you get 70%, but then the class highest itself is like 77%, but that's still a 8 or a 7 grade out of 10. Here that's not the case. If you're 70 grade, that means you're gone. It's literally a D grade or a C grade. It's not the same. So relative grading was absolute grading was a very big change that I had to get adapted to. And yeah, to convince myself that a marks gone is gone. It's not like your grade will change because the class average is low or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was a big struggle. And yeah, that was an academic struggle. I mean, same academic. Do you guys have any academic struggle stories?
I think that's a
Uh,
whole different can of worms. So
yeah, for me, at least, like all the courses I had came with
Hmm.
a different set of struggles,
Hmm.
and uh, one I felt was, I don't know, maybe the professor wanted all of us to have some kind of adrenaline rush for his course, just like unrealistic deadlines out of nowhere, like right
Oh
after class,
man,
like
that
two
is
hours
crazy.
submitted. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, everything was a different journey for each of my courses.
Hmm.
Uh, and for me, my classes are in a different campus,
Oh
and
yes. Hmm.
that's kind of far from where we live and
Hmm. Hmm.
where the main university campus is. So um, that in itself was an added bit to the course for this semester. And my next semester is going to be even crazy because I have classes in two campuses on the same day, and let's see how that goes.
Good luck.
Wow, that's going to be super hard, I guess.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I have to catch that one bus. If I don't, I will end up losing probably points, because
Hmm.
apparently both the classes that are one after another, the professors have an attendance policy,
Hmm.
and I need to be there for both, and they're like 20
Mhm.
miles apart. So let's
all the
see.
best.
Damn.
All the best to that.
But I think on the academics front, right? So one
Yeah.
thing that I kind of liked over here compared to back in India was I'm not sure about other universities because I studied under VTU. So a lot of weightage was given to final exams, right?
Hmm.
So there
Yeah,
was 100
yeah,
marks for finals, and then whatever you do throughout the semesters has like 25 marks,
Hmm.
yeah.
which basically loses the whole point of doing getting or studying for 3 months and then just writing an exam, which is going to count where you go towards in which direction in the future, right? But
Hmm.
Mhm.
over here, every effort that you put in counts.
Yeah.
So
Correct. It's
coming from
gradual.
that background where you could just sit and study for a week and then get away with it, that's not going to work over here. You need to put in effort every day.
From day one.
That I liked, but the problem is that is also super hard. You're not feeling great on some days, but on some days you're
Hmm.
feeling great. So how do you balance that out? I think that is, I think,
Yeah.
a,
Yeah.
a very big challenge.
Hmm. And
Mhm.
somehow it's like before mid semester exams, it's all easy. You can easily catch up. But then when, let's say, November or let's say April comes, it's like all the professors give you like four assignments to do in 1 month. So it's like
Yeah,
you literally have a deadline every 2 days. So it's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
even I felt like till midsem it was kind of slow, but
Yeah.
after midsem it just went like that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Skyrocketed.
yeah, it's just like skyrocketed. Like, we're
Uh,
super busy and like
mm,
lot of
So
things to do.
even though it's just three subjects, it's not like six subjects what we had in undergrad.
Yeah,
Though it's
yeah,
mm,
just three,
yeah.
how do you balance out between the three itself is so tricky.
Yeah.
yeah, correct, yeah.
Yeah. So what are the other struggles that you guys faced?
I think dealing with people here has also been difficult for us. Like we've back home we've grown with a set of people who are like
Hmm.
you, like-minded
Hmm.
from a long time. So the friends I've had back home are the same set of friends that I've had from school,
Hmm.
and now I'm meeting like new people from different states
Hmm.
and different way of living, different habits,
Hmm.
and it's been very difficult to like I'm a very accommodating person in general, like
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
adjust easily, but even for me it
Hmm.
has been a huge, like
Hmm.
huge struggle to just live with
Hmm.
new people and all of that, like even
Hmm.
little things, like it's just like been difficult, you can say. But
Yeah.
I got lucky with having a really good roommate, so so at least there's one, yeah, one
There's
out
at least
of,
there's one person.
yeah, there's at least one person. But yeah, I think that's also one struggle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
I
So
honestly, I
hmm.
think both of us have been grateful for.
Mm.
And uh, after coming here with people, I've realized that you need to um, draw boundaries wherever you feel like it works for you.
Mm.
And those boundaries might be different for different people that you meet here, but they're still very important for you to, build actual connections with people.
Mm. Mm.
And just yesterday, we were joking about this, that especially as, women living here, sometimes the lines we keep drawing, I think I'll end up in a circle with only me in it.
I
So
mean,
sometimes,
yeah.
yeah,
Don't kick me out of that circle. Like.
so sometimes it gets to that point, but
Yeah, it'll
it's
be
all
just a
So
circle of Harshitha and Sannidhi.
yeah,
yeah, just one circle
circle of
around.
life. Yeah, rather than a circle of life, circle of self.
Circle
Yeah.
of self. This is where I belong.
Yeah, but we've also realized that it's nothing personal to do with us. Like
Yeah.
initially we were thinking, no, they like people don't like us, or like maybe they just, they're doing it on purpose to, like
Uh,
they just listen to you, or it's just not that. It's just how they
uh,
live. It's just how they do
yeah.
things, and we need to learn to do how
Uh,
we do things. Like just do it our way and let them do it their way, and just like
mm,
find a way out or find a way to live with it. That's
mm,
it. You, if
yeah.
you keep, yeah,
Yeah,
if you're choosing to be in that situation continuously, then it's on you. It's everything is on you, literally.
Hmm. Yeah. So
yeah.
it's again, I
Add,
guess,
yeah,
continue.
adding to what Sannidhi was saying on
Mm.
like trying to meet new people and all of that. So I think that has been like one of the other struggles that I'm facing. Yes, like back in undergrad, you had people of the same age group, right? So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
here the age group is so varied. Like people
Mhm.
come here from 22 to 28.
Yeah.
So how each and every one of them, one of those individual talk is totally different. So how do you match with them? That is very hard.
And
And top
different
of that,
perspectives also, right? Like,
absolutely different perspectives, and also how they think about having, like, someone who comes here might have a lot of money. They just want to have fun over here. They don't want to do
Mhm.
anything other than that.
Yeah.
So that kind of mentality, and how do you, like, back then it was very easy to build a group of friends, but here
Mm.
getting that group of friends itself is very hard. Like you go with 3 or 4 people and then you're done. Like more people can't be involved in a group. That is, it feels super
Mm.
hard to bring a whole group together over here.
Yeah. I
yeah.
have a question. Were you looking forward to like being in a group, or what was like? Were you look? I mean, did you have any imagination of like set of friends when you're coming here?
um
So for me,
Not really.
Uh,
Not really. I didn't really feel like, I can't really
mm.
make friends even before going there, right? Like I have to
Mm-hmm.
be there to make friends. So that has been like what has, so it is very easy to connect with people on a shallow level,
Mm-hmm.
but how do people become friends? When they connect on a deeper level. So
Mm-hmm.
how do you connect on a deeper level? You spend time with each other. You're not
Mm-hmm.
getting time to spend with each other itself, and that is where the
Yeah.
whole thing just falls
that's a
Yeah.
apart.
very valid
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very fair. So, adding to what both of you said, again, this was again a very, this is something that I was used to. Okay, like I noticed this thing in, having my undergraduate college up in not in the hometown that I grew up was a good thing, because I sort of went through the similar things back then. So I remember in undergrad time, I was looking forward to making group of friends. Okay, that time I was, I mean, I was young. I thought, okay, GCSE need people here, so I was looking forward to me making group of friends. And that time, I remember, like, first 2 months, I had shifted a lot of friends group. Like first, initially, I was part of just a, like, basically the same wing, and then I shifted to another friends of group. Then I realized, okay, though these people aren't good for me. Then I had shifted to another group, and ultimately, like, after literally 1 year, I figured out what my group of set of friends are, and who are the people that I liked. So those kind of expectations weren't there, because uh again, I had like I'm fortunate to have a group of friends who I can, rely upon. uh, I'm sure most of us have that, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. So, I'm fortunate that I have those set of friends who I can rely upon. So when I was coming here, it was like, okay, let's just talk to a lot of people, because uh, you s- sort of need to make a network, right? So that's how I approached um, people when I came here. So, but then you talk to them, you have a good time, and then but then you realize that, okay, what effort, I mean, it's supposed to be a two-way street, right? Like, what you're supposed to put in, you're supposed to get something in return, right? And I think you like, we've had this conversation before, how I think you told me, right, Sannidhi, about this, that we
Yeah.
like,
So,
you need to get something in return to, like, uh for the base of friendship, otherwise what's the point?
yeah.
Yeah,
Correct.
absolutely. It is always a two-way street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
In any
I've
in
huh.
in any kind of relationship, it is always
Yeah.
a two-way street. And I don't think many people see friendship as a relationship, but it is.
Yeah.
It
Mm.
is
Yeah.
for sure.
So that's what I've realized with a lot of people here, that okay, I'm putting in the effort, but then I'm not getting into act. Then okay, fine. Then it's just a, what, as Kaustubh said, it's just a shallow connection then. So that thing. And then also I've realized, I mean, having met a lot of people here, I've realized, okay, the way people here, the way people are here, it's massively different. There are some people who are applying to like 5 jobs a day, and then there are some people who are going out on every weekends. And having met both of these set of friends is just like a very confusing thing. Like, okay, who am I supposed to be in this spectrum of friends? So that's been a revelation.
I think that
Mm.
is also something that uh, everyone finds it's hard, right? Like,
Hmm.
how do you be, how would you be yourself
Hmm.
in wherever you go,
Hmm.
and not be really dependent on how others pick, like
Yeah.
how you see others acting around you,
Hmm.
right? Like
Yeah.
what kind of actions they do. So
Hmm.
they might be doing something, like they might be applying to a lot of jobs, someone might be partying a lot,
Hmm.
but in all of that circle, how do you be yourself? I think that
Hmm.
is one of the major challenge, and you get like pulled into one of the other spectrum. So
Hmm.
how do you pull yourself back? That is a very big challenge.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I've met both these set of, I mean, both these spectrum of people, and then I'm really, okay, I'm not gonna try to fit in any of them. I'm just gonna be, I mean, this is who I am. I'm gonna try to do everything a little. So like, that way it doesn't match. So like, just, you just keep them at acquaintance level. That's all.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
I think um, even with every part of the spectrum,
Hmm.
people don't really talk to you about the struggle they're going through. So
Hmm.
you also tend to
Exactly.
see, like, we as people
Only
tend
on
to
the
see,
surface.
yeah,
Yeah.
tend to see only the good things happening, for
Hmm.
them. I think one of my friends here who was graduated told me that everyone has their own struggles here, and you can't uh, compare the magnitude of the struggle, but each one will have, and it is big enough for them as your struggle is big for you.
Hmm.
So, and I've noticed here that the student community doesn't really talk about the struggles they're going through with each other.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
Hmm.
that also comes from what Kaustubh mentioned. I think we
Hmm.
don't really have the time to,
Talk
um,
about. Hmm.
yeah, talk about, build a connection and talk about it, like, say, in like the one semester that we have been here. I
Hmm.
don't think that is enough time to, trust someone enough to talk about your struggles.
And also when we
And
try to build connections, try to trust people, there have been people who've like let us down. So I feel like that is
Mm.
yeah,
also another
Yeah. Yeah.
like thing. Like at this point, we are just like, never mind, dude. Like we'll
Yeah.
do it on our own. Like like it's
yeah,
I just like try to make friends, try to trust people, and then you're just like
Mhm.
disappointed again. It's a whole why thing. So it's just rather you don't go that way.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, like, in all of that, the easiest way to build connections is to start talking on a deeper level, right? So what everyone tries to do over here is like, okay, what do you do? What do you want to do for having fun? Like, do you play games? All of that. That is fun, but that doesn't build a stronger connection at all. So I think, how do you build a deeper connection immediately? If there is some secret to that, that would be like a great boon for everyone, is what I feel.
I think that the secret is just talking. So I can share a crazy story here. So I met someone, not gonna mention any names, whatever. But then I mean, uh, whenever you meet a person, you if you find them interesting. Okay, so I met someone who had gotten a job very early. So basically, I talked about, okay, it's great what you're doing, man. Okay, what else do you do? So literally, it was very awkward. There was literally nothing that, apart from that he did. So I'm like, okay, there's if there's nothing to talk, then like how can a connection be built? I mean, for sure,
Yeah,
academics is a default thing that you can talk about, but like
there is so much more than academics.
that exactly. So there was, I mean, that's when I realized, okay, you can't build connection. I mean, I can't build connection with that.
Yeah,
But yeah, academics is just like a default thing. I mean, it's like the purpose, right? Purpose of a conversation. So like that's something if you bring up, then you can always talk about it. But then if
yeah,
yeah,
that's just the thing that you talk about, then not sure if it's good.
yeah, I think
What do you
yeah,
think?
yeah, I think it's it varies from people
Mm,
to people because everybody has their priorities set,
mm,
right? Like when they
mm,
come here,
mm,
some
yeah,
people struggle with money, some people struggle with
mm,
you know friendship, some people struggle
mm,
with a lot of things, dude. So I
mm,
just feel like if you um somehow get lucky with finding the right person who has the same mindset as you, like
mm,
life will be easier here, like at least.
mm,
Yeah, but I think you need
yeah.
people,
mm.
at
You
least
need
one
people for
person.
For
sure.
sure,
You
you need
need,
people.
yeah, like
Mm.
you think you can do it on your own, but you
Nah.
need people.
It's not possible to do it on, like, people are like communal animals, right? So
Yeah,
community is needed.
yeah.
Mm,
Mhm.
Community is needed to go through any kind of hardship or
mm,
Mhm.
even joy also.
mm.
You
Mm.
can't be happy by, like, you can be happy by yourself, but you can't celebrate by yourself,
Huh.
right? So I think you need people to celebrate.
Mm. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, that was good. So like, what are there any other uh, struggles, Harshita or Sannidhi?
No, I think we should talk about some positives also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a lot of tough things that we talked about. Okay, so
Yeah.
what are
Yeah.
the things that you really like after moving here, or like think about, what is the thing that you like about this part of the world, or what is the good thing that you've noticed?
So, apart from academics and everything, so I have been been a person who likes to like balance things out. Like
Mm,
I just can't do academics and not do anything else. So for
mm,
that, in that way, there is a lot of like resources here to have fun. Like,
mm,
like for recreation and stuff. Like for example, me and Harshita just went rock climbing the other day with a bunch of women, and like we like with different, like all of these people were from different parts of the world, and it was
mm.
like so nice to just sit down, talk to them, like talk about, see, you think you can't connect with these people because
But
they
it's
are from
actually very
different
easy.
background. No, yeah, but there is a common ground,
The
like
huh.
the struggles are the same. Like I felt like
Yeah.
our struggles were the same. We had
Mm,
similar experiences with the people, with situations, with family, so there were so many things to talk about. Like literally we were talking to them for like we went rock climbing, we had a fun day, we did all of that, and then we went for like dinner, and like we sat down and we spoke to them for like 2 hours or something, but there was no one awkward moment, dude. Like you think you can't connect with people, but you can. Like we tend
mm,
to create a shell and just, okay, no, I'm going to college, I'm coming back, I'm like studying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like, but even going out and doing all of these things, kind of like, see, you have this exposure here. So I think you should make use of that also. So I kind of like doing that. So I think that's one thing I like about being here. Like,
Yeah.
meeting different set of people, doing something fun, all of that.
So apart, like one thing that I have kind of understood is you kind of build your comfort level by seeking discomfort, right? So uh, though we
Yeah.
are facing a lot of struggles, I think that is what is going to help you mature.
Yeah.
Like, let's say we had stayed back home, we would have been in that same old shell.
Yeah,
Like, after
it is.
growing out,
Yeah.
we would
Yeah.
still be in the same shell. You wouldn't have seen the world at all. Like, even right now, we might not be seeing the world, but we have
Yeah.
seen what is out of the pond. Like, you're
Yeah.
not just the frog in the pond anymore. You're
Yeah.
probably coming to the river right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think that is what I like the most. Like, in this part of the world, everyone is coming out, and everyone are like having, like, as you guys mentioned, like they're going through something or the other, so you can connect with them. And also at the same time, the amount of opportunities that you get over here are enormous.
Yeah.
So, like, be it with respect to jobs or with respect to some kind of activity that you want to do, or let's say you want to build a robot, you don't have to go and like search where you can buy stuff. You can get them pretty easily compared to back at home. Like, so the means to sources are pretty, a lot of things are there over here. But I think that is what I like the most. And also at the same time, what I really love is it is helping me grow for myself. So I
Yeah.
think that's the most important thing for me, and that is what I love.
Yeah.
Like
To add
secretly
on to.
building. No, I think Kaustubh is like secretly building a robot for a friend in his like you never know.
Yeah. Correct. But no, to add on to what you said, about I forgot the exact line, but like seeking, you become comfortable when you are discomfortable. So I mean, totally agree with what you say. And also, like, I feel like things were just too comfortable back home. Like,
Absolutely.
back home, like, there was no, you need adversity to grow, right? Like, there was no
Yeah.
adversity. Like, the pay was good. You have your family with you. You have your friends with you. You hang out every weekend. And then, like, back home, like, let's say even if you do one thing, your friends will be like, hey macha, you did so much. But
Yeah.
then when you come here, it's like you're doing two things to let's say you've done with 2-3 things a day, and then but there's still like 3-4 hours to go. Then people ask you, okay, what is your plan for the rest of the day? And you just feel like, oh man, but I just finished 2 or 3 tasks that were so big. So I mean, yeah, that way I feel like I'm utilizing way more time, I'm being more productive and things like that.
And I
Yeah.
think that was true even for our parents, right? So
Mm.
even they came from some other city to some other
Yeah.
city,
Yeah.
and then that is what helped them grow as well. So
Mm.
for them, it was local in a local environment. Now that we are moving into a global
It's
economy,
global,
I
huh?
I, I think it's going global as well.
Mm.
It is oddly satisfying, right? Like if I
Mm.
try to explain it to my friends back
Mm.
home, like how my life is fun here, it might not seem fun to them, but somehow it feels oddly satisfying
Yeah.
after all this, or like Palla was mentioning, after you do things the entire day and you still want to do more
Yeah.
things and you have time on your hand. And for me personally, I don't think I've spent this much time to work on myself with the amount of focus I've dedicated to it now.
Mm.
So I, yeah, this has been the most fun part, I think. And for
Mm.
me, we were talking about struggles with people, but uh, the upside to that is I found, connections with people here that I didn't expect from, like, probably like uh, one of the professors of, in my course. And uh, somehow I've ended up talking to him so much through the semester that uh, he was able to talk to me about his like his problems with in the
Oh,
academic domain, and
that's
I can
that's
talk to him
nice.
about what I am facing
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm.
how like and with everything that he has been through, what advice he can give me. And I've met uh, just someone that, I randomly, there was this one lady that I randomly met back home who mentioned that her son lives here and he has a family here. And I thought nothing, would come out of that. But, they invited me home, and the conversation that I had with them, uh, just it was so memorable, that one
Yeah.
conversation. And like everything we spoke about today, uh, so the person I met,
Yeah.
who invited me home, summed it up perfectly, saying, "This is just your first semester syndrome. You might
uh,
call it a lot of different things, but it'll stay just for that one semester that
mhm,
you're, here, and you're
mhm.
new, all of that." And
Is it the same trip that you came back home in a Porsche?
yeah, it's the
Uh,
same one.
Thank
And
that's how
God
I
I just
remember that.
remembered
Okay.
that part of the story. Yeah.
and
That's how you
for
should remember that. Yeah.
me, and when he dropped me back home, for me, it was more like I have this 20 minutes of, his entire attention, dedicated to the conversation I want to have with him. And he has been here for like 20 plus years, and the kind of things he has seen. I was sure that I would not be able to understand if he told me, but I wanted to know, you know, all of us have come here for a certain kind of life. So it is always, good to see people who've done it and who can tell you that, like, this is the struggle they also went through. So you can also see yourself there and beyond, perhaps.
It's something to look up
Hmm.
to.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it makes you feel like your struggles are leading somewhere at least.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's
Uh,
something.
yeah. So, I mean, to talk about things that I really like in this part of all is just has been, I mean, the environment is nice, the people are nice, and things are a lot fancy here. Like, it's just like technologically, I've noticed things which are way more advanced. So that's very cool. But also the thing that I'm most happy about in after coming here is has just literally been, as you said, it's been self growth. Like I've noticed, and like people around me have noticed that after coming here, I've become more confident in terms of what I speak and how I'm treating myself. And I've noticed that change in myself as well. I'm able to connect to people faster, which I didn't know I had it in me, because usually I was very reserved, and like I've had a barrier terms of even opening up to people, but that barrier doesn't exist. I'm happy to connect with anyone and everyone. But then literally, I mean, there have been times when like when people notice such change in you, they think something's wrong with you. So
Hmm.
yeah, so I remember I was just talking to one of my friends like 2 3 months after coming here, and he was like, "Dude, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm absolutely fine. I'm doing 120% as I am doing in back home, so I'm absolutely doing okay." But then he's like, "No, dude, something's weird. I feel I'm getting this weird energy from you." I'm like, "No, but I'm literally very happy and confident here." So he's like, "Okay, we will see what your energy is after the end of the sem." And then I'm like, "Ah, okay, now I see what you mean. Something was wrong with me." So
Yeah,
yeah, it's been great, man. Like very like when you're living by yourself, I think these things just happen, that you just become more confident, and like on all these things so that's been, I feel that has been the best part, and about moving into a new country.
One more thing was we oddly find it satisfying to walk around Safeway. Like just grocery shopping also we
Yeah.
find pleasure
yeah.
do sometimes.
uh,
Yeah.
It's not even a joke. Like ask her, like we simply go around Safeway sometimes and just pick out random things in that
Yeah.
yeah.
kind of
Like Safeway is like Big
getaways
Bazaar
sometimes.
or uh, Walmart, something
uh,
like,
Yeah.
or for those, what is that called? D-Mart, something like that.
yeah.
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 So
So
yeah,
I
that
think you kind of start to enjoy the little things that you do over here,
Little things.
Mhm.
which you
Yeah,
would
yeah,
have ignored back at home. Like, yeah,
yeah.
just
Mhm.
something
We
regular.
probably never did all of this back
Yeah.
home.
So I think that is what is the difference. What I feel. I think you kind of start enjoying life more once you start
Mhm.
Yeah.
realizing the importance of these minute things that you do for yourself.
Mhm. So yeah, so that pretty much brings us to the end of the episode. Do we have any final words before we wrap it up?
Hmm.
Okay, so I just want to know what is the one thing all of you are looking forward to for the next semester, the spring 2023?
I am
Okay.
looking forward to an internship.
We
Yeah,
all
but
are, Kaustubh. Like we
Yeah.
all
yeah,
are.
but jokes aside, I think one thing that I'm really looking forward to is trying to build more connections with people. Like, I
Mhm.
think I didn't do justice to the connection with people a lot this semester, but I want to
Mhm.
do that more. Now that I have
Mhm.
kind of figured out the
Mhm.
house things and also the living part, how I can live by myself, all of that. I want to start building more and more connections. So that is what I'm looking forward to next semester.
Mhm. What about you guys? I'll tell mine in the end because host, right? I need to have benefits.
Yeah, what I'm looking forward to is similar to what Kaustubh just told. Um, I want to make use of all the opportunities that I
Yeah.
have. Forget about the ones that I can create. Just the ones I have, I want to make use of them and like talk to all these, you know, people from different walks of life. And like one thing I feel I didn't do the semester was like when the professor is giving you time like to go and talk to them and like discuss things. I feel like I didn't make enough use of that, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to do that in the spring semester.
Mm.
yeah. Same, even me. I feel like now I've started kind of balancing everything out, like coursework, things at home, and like also doing like other things for fun. So I think I just want to do more of that next semester and in a more organized way, you can say. So hopefully our house situation will be sorted for the next semester. So new space, new, mindset and everything. So
Mm.
hopefully it'll be good. So let's see.
Yeah, just to add one more
Mm.
thing from my side is like I want to try and figure out how do you build a conversation. Yeah, you can start a conversation, but how do you continue the conversation from there? That is something that I want to learn because I know I'm very bad at it, and because I have met people, I have spoken to them, but I haven't really continued talking with them. So I want to figure out how to build that kind of a continued conversation over a period of time.
Mm.
Yeah, I think you survived one episode of Pallav's podcast. You can survive a
Survived.
conversation.
You're talking as if this has been a torture for the past 40-45 minutes.
No, I mean, it went smoothly is what I'm saying. Like, we didn't
Yeah.
struggle.
Huh.
So,
Yeah. I mean, initially it was a big struggle to even launch this, but okay, that's for another episode. But yeah,
episode.
signing off. What I'd like to say that in spring 20, like there are a lot of things that I've done right this semester, in terms of talking to people and housewise. Lucky, very lucky that we didn't have any, not many issues. We had very little. Uh, so continue doing those things, but I've made a lot of mistakes also in the sem, and I don't want to repeat them, and basically like reprioritize academics. I don't think I've handled that part very well the sem to handle that. Then I like maybe like spend more times on like basically academics jobs, because that should be the priority number one, right? So
Right.
I didn't focus. I mean I did focus, but like that maybe
Okay.
didn't prioritize it as much as I should have. So that would be the target for my next sem. And but yeah, otherwise continue the same thing. I'm very happy with where I'm able to spend time on literally everything. So yeah, peace.